I think I'm sitting on a bug. Hi, guys.
Hey, we got it to work. So we were traveling this week. So we're in Tennessee, coming to you live. So we're not from home. As you can see, our background is a little bit different, but that's okay. But that's why we're a little later also, because we didn't want to miss out on lunchtime with
and
our
visiting,
family.
yeah.
So, all right, we have a few movies for you. We got kind of a decent lineup. So the first one is Rocky 3.
Testing. Hello, microphone. I just want to make sure. I think it's working.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's showing up.
All right, cool. Rocky 3?
Rocky 3.
What was the Billboard hit in this one?
Billboard hit was Eye of the Tiger by Survivor,
course.
US #1.
Yeah. Boy, I guess I would say that this is when Rocky was at the peak of his career, and he is faced with a very hungry contender. Everybody knows him as Mr. T, but in this one, he goes by the name Clubber Lang, and he's got the same attitude that Mr. T does.
Worse.
No, yeah, worse.
Worse, because Mr. T was kind of decent in the A-Team, but
no frills kind of.
He's kind of the bad guy in this one, so I don't know.
Yeah,
it's different.
So there's definitely a lot of conflict in this one, and Mickey, we see that Mickey vehemently did not want Rocky to fight Clubber Lang, and so Rocky approaches him, wonders, why not? And Rocky is faced with the fact that Mickey had been just carrying him through success because that was his job.
Yeah. He was setting him up with gigs where he would be sure to win, and just kind of boosting his career for him. So when he had that realization, that kind of hit him hard, I think.
Because, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So I don't know if you remember from Rocky 2, but when Rocky showed interest in out of pressure, he approached Mickey because he wanted to fight Apollo again in a rematch to get complete victory because he lost by decision in the first movie. And Mickey demonstrated to him that he had lost a lot of peripheral vision from his right eye. And so he already had that challenge going into all of this. And so I guess that is why Mickey took him through the fights that he did to take him on through his successful career.
Yeah. Yeah. So this one, Mickey doesn't make it either. So he dies in this one of heart trouble.
And, there was the fundraiser with Hulk Hogan. He went by Thunder Lips in this one. And Mickey you kind of see some foreshadowing with his heart troubles over there. I guess he thought it was real, and it looked like Rocky thought it was real too. And then in the end, you learn that Thunder Lips was saying, "Oh, it's all just for show," and which was kind of interesting, but foreshadowing to what was going to happen to Mickey during Rocky's first match with Clubber Lang.
I did not like Hulk Hogan in this one. I did not like his personality. He was annoying.
Different from the Hulk Hogan personality that he's got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so rating this one, what would you rate Rocky 3?
I would give this one a 9. And each of these Rocky films, I think, can stand on their own pretty well.
Yeah.
And I like it because he's faced with yet another challenge. He loses a dear friend and coach, and he gains an unexpected ally in Apollo, and he ends up becoming good friends, and it just perfectly sets it up for the next movie.
I would probably give it an 8. It's an 8 for me. And actually, we watched these out of order. We watched 4 before we watched 3.
Yeah.
So now we will talk about 4. So Rocky 4, the song is Burning Heart by Survivor, which was US #2. And Living in America by James Brown, US #4. So it had two songs.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
So this one, Apollo doesn't make it.
Yeah, it's pretty devastating.
When he fights the Russian, right? The
Yeah,
Russian,
the
yeah.
Russian. I like how each of the start of the sequels is a little bit of the previous movie,
Yes.
and then yeah, that that we're so Russia is still the Soviet Union at this point, and there's a lot of heat, I guess, with the Cold War. I think between Russia and the Soviet Union and the United States. So this was kind of a big deal with the Russians challenging the Americans, and with Rocky being the champion for a while, Apollo was retired, I guess. Comes out of the woodworks and says, "Yeah, I can beat him," and because he still has the same attitude, he still has that "I'm the greatest" kind of attitude. And man, he every film you watch, these guys look buffer and buffer. I mean, that went the same for Apollo Creed too. um, yeah, that was pretty devastating. So Rocky suffers yet another loss. Um, but and he kind of loses the support of his wife for a little while too, which kind of rocks him mentally, um, as it would any husband, I think. Whenever you just don't, when you're not unified,
he gets it
yeah,
back before the end of the movie.
he gets
Though,
it
don't
back.
worry.
Yeah. So I think that's why this movie is great, because there are some, I guess, real um, life challenges,
Yeah.
and it's not just all about the fight. And then at the end, it is all about the fight, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah. So rated.
I'm 9.5.
I would give it an 8.5. So we went up a little bit.
A little
from
bit
3.
better from third one, yeah.
A little more emotion shown in this one, I think, which helped.
I think this one, generally speaking, is probably one of the favorites of the franchise altogether.
Yeah.
For me, it's probably a toss up between this one and the original one, because the original it's got that original feel to it.
I really like Balboa too.
Balboa is also really
that
really
one
good.
is probably the highest for me. I think
Yeah,
that one showed the most.
That is a great one. Yeah.
So anyway, all right. So that's the Rockies. We pretty much watched all the Rockies, right? Except for Balboa.
And 5. I haven't watched
5.
Yeah,
5.
yet. Yeah.
Balboa.
That'd
Okay.
be it.
So maybe you'll get that from us later. Doesn't fit our theme this month, though, which we're done with this month. Ooh, we have a new month.
Oh, I guess.
Ooh, We'll tell you at the end of the live what that's going to be. Okay, so then we attempted to watch The Last Dragon. Oh, I forgot to tell the years. So Rocky 3 was 1982. Rocky 4 was 1985. All right, then we attempted to watch The Last Dragon from 1985. By attempted, I mean we turned it on. We tried.
Maybe 5 minutes.
5
minutes.
to 10 minutes. It was terrible. I mean, just terrible. Not interesting. The fight scenes were cheesy. It was just not. Yeah.
Which you can be cheesy and good, like Bloodsport.
But this wasn't.
This wasn't, and we just lost interest.
Our whole family just looked at each other and goes, "Yeah, no, it's not worth our time."
I think this was truly a B movie.
Yeah, I don't know how it gets a 6.8 on IMDb. That one baffles me because I don't know.
Actually, there's maybe Scott Adkins might be thrown into the B martial arts films movies, which I guess barely it's in. I really like Scott Adkins movies, but this one is truly a B film.
It's not great. Yeah. The song in it is "Rhythm of the Night" by DeBarge. It's a U.S. number 3.
Is that "This is a rhythm of the night"?
Yeah.
You think that's the one? That's the only one I know.
Yeah. We didn't even get to the song. We didn't get that far into the movie. It was just not. Yeah, it wasn't worth our time.
Maybe it was in the credits. I don't know.
I don't know. So then we moved on to a good one, Titanic from 1997. So most people know the story of Titanic, even if you haven't seen this movie. So this is an over-dramatized version of the story of Titanic.
And because it can't be wholly focused on the disaster itself, a good idea to focus, I guess, on the developing relationship between Jack and Rose.
Yes.
Upper class and lower class, I guess.
And there's many famous scenes in this one, like the one where she's at the front of the boat, her arms out.
Yeah, King of the
He's
World
holding him
scene.
under her. And then the captain going down with the ship.
Oh, right, yeah.
Another big one.
And the quartet.
The quartet
also playing to the end.
Yeah.
And I learned later that I guess James Cameron, the director of this film, was also a diving enthusiast. He liked to explore the depths of the ocean, so that was kind of cool that he made this kind of movie.
And he actually, if I remember right, some of the scenes that they showed in the movie were actual video clips from him doing the dive.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. As long as this movie was, I think it was paced pretty well, where the whole thing is entertaining.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours and 14 minutes long.
I think the VHS, wasn't it 3 tapes or was it 2?
I don't remember. Man, you're
maybe 2 tapes. Maybe 2 tapes. It's actually it's a very rewatchable movie.
It is, and we've seen it lots of times, and our kids have seen it lots of times.
And
yes, we skip through the naked body scenes. Don't worry.
We found an article after this caught our ears recently. This is before Jack wins tickets to get onto the Titanic, but there's some friends that he's playing cards with. One is named Sven,
and one is named
Olaf
from Frozen.
And so I looked this up. Obviously, this is well before Frozen's time, but I looked this up, and apparently some people just recently found this out. I don't know why we just heard it now.
Yeah, we've seen this movie for years and years and years, over and over. So
I don't know. I guess they were just casually speaking, and the name is not a strong part of the sentence. I don't know.
Yeah. So Disney is known for playing other movies, characters, crossovers. There we go. Yeah. So they're known for that. So this is a Disney version of a crossover. They took the names from Titanic and used them in Disney's Frozen. So
a lot of the Frozen itself, I think, had some versions of crossovers where I think Rapunzel or somebody
shows up in there.
They showed up, walking to the coronation or whatever it was.
Yep. So watch for that in Disney movies. There's also subliminal messages that are in Disney movies.
Yeah.
So you can watch for those too. But the song for Titanic is "My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion, which is a US #1.
Very talented singer.
Yes.
Very good song. Pretty emotional song. I'd say.
This movie rates up there for me. I would probably give it a 9.5 out of 10. I love this movie.
Yeah, I would. I'll give it a 9.5 also. A pretty solid performance from all of the cast, really.
Yeah, well done rendition of the history of the Titanic.
And this grossed a lot of. It's got a huge, gross. Made a lot of money.
Yes.
over the years, but especially when it was first released. And fun side note: when I was in high school, I think mostly because a lot of my history teachers were, I'd say this is geared probably more towards a female audience than male audience, but my history teachers were young ladies, and so I guess they used it as an excuse to take us on a field trip, and we watched Titanic at our local mall, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. So it's a good one.
I really keep aging this.
I know. The next one is one I have seen before. He hadn't seen it. It's Evita from 1996. So we really watched all 80s and 90s movies this time.
Yeah,
but Evita from 1996. So this features Madonna as the lead character. I didn't remember really how bad this movie was as far as the fact that she sleeps her way to the top. So she gets involved with men that she knows will promote her, will lift her up. And in fact, one of the lead songs in this movie is about, it's sad when a relationship dies, but I needed you to promote me. So that's the basic words in the song.
Did you say it already? Did you say the song already?
No, because it wasn't one that made the top Billboard.
Oh, it wasn't. Oh, wow. That's okay.
The song for this one was Don't Cry for Me, Argentina by Madonna.
Oh, yeah.
So she does this one later in the movie when she promotes the dictator of Argentina, Perón, to his position, even though he didn't want the position. He was ready and willing to walk away because he didn't feel he was a strong, prominent person to be running the country. But she convinced him, I will make them love you. And she did just that, just so they would in turn love her. So it was really her that the people ended up loving because she was very narcissistic in her speaking. She was very convincing.
Was this based on a true story?
Or I believe so.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. It's a musical. It doesn't really clearly, based on the incredible true story, Eva Perón starts out life as a poor girl who goes on to become an actress and then becomes the wife of the president of Argentina, Juan Perón. So, but she promotes him to self-promote. And then, of course, by the end of the movie, tragedy strikes because she dies of what's assumed to be an STD. From all of her promiscuity to get herself to the top. So, and she was only in her 30s when she died. So it was kind of a sad,
I'll do that to you.
Sad thing. But I mean, Madonna was a great actress in this movie. And it also had Jonathan Pryce, Antonio, Jimmy Neal. So lots of big names in this movie.
I think I only know Madonna from one movie from the 80s. I want to say it was called Billie Jean, but I'm not sure.
She's in several movies.
Yeah.
But this one was definitely one that got her some popularity. This one, she did very good as an actress in this movie.
Okay, cool.
So, but yeah, the storyline is not great. Not recommended to work your way up the line that way.
Yeah, there's probably different ways that.
Or probably like actually being a good person and deserving the spot, not being narcissistic and convincing everybody that it's the only way to go, right? So anyway, that's Evita from 1996, rating it. It kept my attention. The music is not my favorite style of music, I will say. And it's a musical. So
it's a musical, really?
It's a musical. So pretty much the whole movie is music. And I get it, it's Argentine flair to the music, which I appreciate that. But the songs, I don't know. They
didn't strike a chord.
Yeah. You're funny. But overall it kept my attention, and I wanted to find out what happened with her. And I kind of remembered it from watching it decade or more ago. So I don't know. The acting was great. I would probably give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
So, Evita, 1996.
So that's to recommend. You would recommend.
It's worth watching. It's a decent musical, but just know it's about promiscuity to get to the top, right? It's not
a how-to video.
No, don't go that way. Okay. Deserve it. Don't
how to not.
Right. And then the last one, and actually Evita and this last one I watched on the way on our drive to Tennessee. So I watched them in the car. Another thing about Evita, the cinematography was very, very dark. So it was hard to really grasp detail in the pictures because it was
dark, like the Michael Keaton Batman kind of dark. Is that what you mean?
Like
dark scenes?
Dark, yes. The cinematography was very dark. So there's not a lot of bright lights. There's not a lot of dark. So don't expect it to be bright and cheery and all of that. It's not. There's not any. It's war. It's about war, and it's about fighting, and it's about a country that's in distress and needing a leader that's good. And so there's a lot of struggle in this movie, a lot of personal struggle, and just struggle of the country in general. And of course, they get controlled then by a dictator who they inevitably elect president because of Evita. But anyway, moving on to the next movie. The last movie was Up Close and Personal from 1996. This is a Michelle Pfeiffer and Robert Redford movie. I don't think I have ever seen this movie. I thought it was really good. So the beginning of it started a little slow. I don't know if I'm going to dig this movie or not. She was trying to make it as a reporter, but she really was not that talented at it. So she applied for this TV channel that really wasn't going many places. It seems like that's the one that Robert Redford was in charge of. So she interviews there. He decides to hire her as his assistant. So she's the coffee runner. She's the copier. She's not as a reporter like she originally wanted.
Like secretarial assistant role.
Yeah. So she kind of had to prove herself and work her way up in this one. But of course, it's a love story also. It's a romance. So he falls for her.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
Imagine that. But there's a lot more story going on there. So anyway, he kind of trains her as his protege and teaches her how to be a good reporter and how to actually dig for the truth, find the truth, and report it. Whether or not it's popular, whether or not it's what you feel that the viewers want to see, they need to see the truth. So he, in a sense, was media that we need now. He was what we really need media that will tell the truth. Media now is so brainwashed and so paid under the table that they report what they're told to. They're not reporting truth. They're not reporting what's really happening.
Unified propaganda.
Yeah. So
we're gonna get canceled now.
I don't care.
No. Oh no.
I don't care. But anyway, the story builds and jobs change. She ends up going and working for a different network because he helps promote her to more success because he's wanting to see her successful. And he basically says, I've been where you want to be. I'm going to help you get there. So he was great as far as that goes. And he's very much not a beat around the bush kind of guy. He was very straightforward and, I'm going to get you where you need to go, but we're going to do it honest. So they did, and there's some tragedy at the end, but you have to watch it and find out what that tragedy is. It's a good one. I would recommend. I don't know why it's only a 6 on IMDb.
Oh, okay. So you'd give it a higher rating.
So there is a pretty risque sex scene. So don't watch it with your kids. It definitely probably should be rated R. I don't know how it only got PG-13.
Really?
There's not a lot of language in it, though, which I think is good. I don't like to watch movies with a lot of language, so I'm glad it didn't have a lot of that. But there is a pretty prominent sex scene between the two of them in this.
It's interesting how the content of the given ratings have changed over the decades.
Yeah. So I would say it's probably should be rated higher than PG-13 for that one scene alone. If you skip through that scene, you're probably okay. But don't watch it with kids. There is a lot of kissing and a lot of intimacy involved in this movie. So
I guess it is up close and personal.
Well, that was meaning camera. Up close and personal. But yes, it is.
There's multiple meanings.
I guess so. So rating it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I thought it was for a 90s movie, I thought it was well done and it kept my attention. I wanted to see what would happen. And
was this recommended to you by somebody else or you found it on the list?
It's on the list.
Oh, okay.
I would probably give it an 8.
Oh, okay.
I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10.
Cool.
The sex scene would maybe lower it a little to like 7.75.
But leave that out.
Leave that out and it would be an 8.
Oh, the content's good. Yeah. Okay.
It was good. It was a good watch. Sad ending, but good watch. So that was Up Close and Personal from 1996.
And if you guys, here's a plug for Angel Studios. If you guys really don't want to watch that content, then Angel Studios is a great while they do have some original content, it's a filtering system that works with ad-free Netflix and Prime Video and maybe a couple others.
Yeah, so that's the downfall of it right now, which I'm a little disappointed with it, that now you have to be ad-free for all of the things that before it was just the standard. So
yeah, I don't know if that was because of how Netflix changed their subscription level or agreements between Netflix and Angel Studios.
I don't know. I kind of feel like if I'm paying for Angel Studios, they need to be able to deliver, and they're not really able to deliver. They need to work some deals out. They need to make it where it's not so cumbersome to be able to watch stuff.
Yeah, because we don't care to pay for a subscription level beyond we don't want to pay for ad-free. I mean,
for everything. So we are for Prime, because Prime tends to have more of what we're wanting to watch for our movies. But
yeah,
and it was only $2.99 a month more to get it on Prime. For everything else, it's like a jump of $10 more.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
It's dumb.
And then you're back to paying cable prices from back in the day.
Yeah, but actually, Avita and Up Close and Personal, I rented from the library, so I got them from Hoopla through the library.
Nice.
So there's no filtering system with that. You have to just watch it for what it is. So,
and when we say that, there's the various categories like language and its subcategories, nudity and violence,
gore,
and every instance of each of those categories and subcategories essentially has yes or no. Do you want to see it or not? And it kind of shows you with a simple bar graph. It's either going to be filled or it's going to be a little bit spotty. But really, you can still enjoy the movie even if some of the audio gets clipped or whatever. It's a pretty neat way to watch a show if you don't want to see some things.
And we will say we were not paid to promote them at all.
Yeah, this is just
our honest opinion.
Since we do give product reviews and
yes,
books and movie reviews, so there you go.
So they have the good and the bad going on with them right now. So yeah. I'm hoping things improve back to where they were. But anyway, that's what we have for you today. So sorry about the delay in our live. Hopefully those of you who didn't catch it are able to go back and watch it later. We will have a Tuesday movie review for you. We're not sure what that is yet, but we will let you know on Tuesday. And then a Friday fave. So jump on and check it out. And then, next month, what is our month theme? Let me look that up real quick. So we are in March now. So now our new theme starts.
Basketball.
No, it's not basketball. Space.
Space? That's the theme?
Oh, look at that. He's all excited.
That's the theme? Oh, man. Okay.
So this is not going to be a favorite month for me. But clearly it is for him.
I like space movies.
Oh, man. Okay. So, yeah, we'll be bringing you space movies next weekend. So, if you have any recommendations for space movies for us that you would like us to watch and review, for the good, the bad, or the ugly, let us know in the comments. And then don't forget to
like and subscribe and crush that dinger. Crush that dinger.
Ring the bell. Ding the dinger. Crush it.
I don't have my little, I can't pull up the little
no
thingy.
We're just kind of using my computer thing this time. So not as much of our technology. That's why the lighting is weird and all of that. But okay. So we'll catch you next Sunday or Saturday at 2 o'clock for our live.
Thanks, guys, and see you later.